You can go live now because I like the awkward join in progress. So there we are live. 5 seconds, 6 seconds. This is Marty's hang time. We're excited. We're behind the scenes here. We're going to do a little mic check with our guest, comedian Mike Goodwin. We're excited about. Can we hear you, Mike? Are you here?
What up?
Yo, that's Mike Goodwin, all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. And we got Robbie Hardy in the house. Hardy, maybe put yourself in there and make sure we can hear your mic, and then unmute it, and then.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, you got to put yourself in the stream though, because they didn't hear you.
Yep,
there you go. Talk.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, now take yourself out of there. We got Hardy, he's going to be in here, and then we got Anji Stubbs joining us from Alaska, and then so we're going to roll the theme music and start the show here. This is Marty's hang time on April 20th. We're very excited to have the show going, and now here it comes. Here comes the theme song.
If a punter has a 5-second hang time, they can make the pros.
They're setting up for the return. Oh, it's a beautiful kick. Back to the 36 of Tennessee.
And we know that's about the same amount of time internet watchers give us to decide if they'll keep watching our show.
Are we trying to be the Tonight Show? No. We are trying to be a show that it makes you feel like you can produce a show.
Summers to the near side. Taken down at the 41. What a kick by Marty Simpson, and what a time for it.
So join former All-American punter and kicker and now current stand-up comedian Marty Simpson for Marty's Hang Time.
Kicker never likes to be standing in the paint, but he blasts this one out of there. Just perfect. Couldn't have done any better. He feels great about it. Cover, Marty, cover.
Now just don't make me make the tackle.
Right.
Okay, I realize it's a little weird that I'm the voiceover guy and calling myself All-American. But that's just how it's going to be until we hire somebody to do the real voiceover. Here's the show. Please welcome Marty Simpson.
Hey, how's it going? So the theme music would keep rolling right there underneath me. That'd be awesome. And it'd be good over here. I'm Marty Simpson. We are joining you live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. We got a huge show planned for you. Periscope also too. I forgot about that. There it is. We got new themes that we've introduced. We got a game clock that is in this corner of the screen right there. We're going to play 4 quarters. 4 12-minute quarters is our show. We're going to have a halftime show brought to you by Anji Stubbs in Alaska. She's one of our favorites. And then right at the start of the second quarter, we're going to bring on our guest, comedian Mike Goodwin is going to join us today. We're very excited to have him there. I've also been told some feedback that is not that we would play a drinking game, because we do comedy in churches and clean corporation stuff. So I'm not endorsing a drinking game. But if there was a drinking game, if you took a drink every time, Marty Simpson said he was very excited. One commenter said that you would be blitzed by the end of the first quarter, because I think I say very excited a lot. So if you want to comment and heckle me during the show about how many times I say very excited, that's awesome. Also, a quick note to our guests who are in the waiting room: the music in our headphones is extremely loud, and it's not that way to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and stuff. So if we play theme music behind you, that's to build emotion and to have some fun with it. But you're gonna have to concentrate through it, kind of to do the Dave Chappelle thing where you do all this. So I'm so excited to be here. Oh yeah, look at that. We got sound effects that are happening without me helping, and that's because we actually have a producer now. We've got a real producer that we're very excited about. See, 10 minutes to go. That's going to keep us on time right there. And we're not keeping a score or anything like that, but we might introduce a scoreboard to you. Well, we haven't decided yet. But Robbie Hardy, Coach Hardy, or Hardy, as we like to colloquially call him, if he'd bring himself into the broadcast right now, back there he is. Got to unmute his mic also, or else we can't hear him. But you know what? One of the things I loved about Robbie Hardy from the get-go was he doesn't talk a lot. So there he is. He's a 25-year veteran coach. Gilbert Indians assistant athletic director, was my assistant coach when I was a coach and teacher back in the day. So welcome, Robbie Hardy, Coach Hardy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. We're very excited. And here we have joining us all the way from Alaska. We can bring her right into the broadcast. And there she is, Anji Stubbs from Alaska. How are we, Anji?
Good. I didn't rub my makeup in very well, apparently. I was.
You're not ready for your close-up?
No. And then I was trying to change my earrings, but I ran out of time. Bentley said these look like crackers.
Crackers?
These ones.
That's going to be a fun show to have with Mike Goodwin on. We're the crackers, but we're bringing Mike Goodwin on, so that's good. So I have been told so far in the Christian comedy world that I'm the most diverse show out there. Most Christian comedy shows on the internet right now during this coronavirus thing are 4 pasty white guys. I've got a female from Alaska, and I've got comedian Mike Goodwin coming on the show. So we got that covered. And I could have my IT guy, Satyam, on the show next, and we'd have somebody from India. So that.
I love him.
Yeah. Nice.
I won.
That's amazing. Like, the crowd is very excited about that. I can tell already that I'm going to love having Robbie Hardy produce the show, because these sound effects are like a little heckler behind the glass. And that's very exciting. So we're going to tease a few things first here. So what we have at the start of the second quarter is going to be Mike Goodwin going at the start of the second quarter. We'll bring in our guest always at the start of the second quarter. And then at halftime, Anji is like the halftime show person. And what it says in her contract is Anji Stubbs is not obligated to do, plan, or research or do any work before the show. But if she chooses to want to be the star of the halftime show, we're going to give her that little 2 or 3 minute window. And I think today we might have a little something. Is that right, Anji?
Oh, yeah. I literally made a 35-minute video of my kids and I doing my makeup for no good reason. Then I cut it down to a 20-minute, a 15-minute. And still, I think that was probably 14 minutes too long for most people to watch.
What I like is Anji emails me and says, "Hey, can you cut this video down to me like you did the last show?" And the last time she sent a minute and 20-second iPhone video of an Easter egg hunt that I made like a little 30-second video with music on it for the last show. And the video spun the spinning beach ball of death in my iMessage for 2.5 hours while it loaded onto my phone. And it was 35 minutes, just one take of her and her kids. And I was like, no, I'm not going to edit this video, Anji. This is not going to be how this plays. So,
then I posted the 2-minute one just now. So then I finally got it by myself. I mean, you know how long it takes to edit a video?
No, tell me. I've never done any video editing or anything like that before.
I mean, I sat in bed yesterday for 12 hours.
That's the work ethic of our Anji Stubbs from Alaska. She decided to stay in bed. She texted me, "What phone app is the best to edit a..." There she is.
Yay! Again?
Yes.
Good job, Hardy. I like it.
So, but yeah, so we do have, I think, about a 2-minute version of this edited down, because she ended up sending me a 9-minute version.
Right.
That I kept ignoring. I got a iMessage with a 16-minute version, then an iMessage with a 12-minute version. I just didn't respond to her in those iMessages, I thought.
And get this. You're the reason that half my Facebook friends are going to be annoyed.
Why?
Because you didn't respond for so long. I posted a 10-minute video of it.
Meaning you showed the 10-minute video to your Facebook.
Yeah.
And all your Facebook are going to scroll past it.
They watch like 30 seconds of it and they liked it because they're good friends. You know what I mean? That was real sweet of them. But What I'm saying is going to annoy them is, and now I've double posted the same video because I posted the 2-minute one. I'm like, guys, go back and watch this.
There is a concept, Anji, that you could delete the first video of yourself that you posted on Facebook. Is that not a thing?
I did.
Okay. Oh, you did delete it?
Yeah, but it's already been up for hours.
Hours? Like 3?
It's already been up for like an Instagram lifetime.
Let me look into the camera and say, audience, if you need any social media consulting, Anji is our resident wizard of how the algorithms work and how everything goes on with how you post. But I will say she gets so many more likes on her post than I do. She kind of is the wizard of social media and stuff.
Well, it's really funny that you're saying that about me. Thank you. I appreciate in your world, I'm the social media guru, because to my children, I'm like, guys, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. And then they're like, later, like, Mom, did it blow up? I'm like, yeah. I got like 67 likes and like 32 comments. I mean, 18 of them are mine, but like, whatever. They're like, oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is great. Well, if you don't know, if you don't know who Anji Stubbs is, you on Facebook, search for Anji Stubbs. You can follow her madness, because a lot of the stuff on your Facebook profile doesn't go to your comedy page, and you make a lot of it public, so you can actually follow Anji on Facebook. If you follow her on Twitter, you'll be one of 39 other people that saw her like party like a Gronk star back when they played the Falcons, back when the Patriots played the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Is that my only Twitter or tweet?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that is your most recent tweet, is party like a Gronk star when the Falcons were playing.
You want to know why I first got Twitter?
Why?
Well, you'd be surprised. It actually came out like years ago.
Twitter came out years ago. I'm not surprised to hear that. But go ahead.
Yeah, this is crazy. You guys.
I'm very excited to have people clicking stuff in the background. It's so fun.
Well, anyways, it came out when what is that?
We need snappier stories here, Angie.
So, anyways, I was in bed yesterday for 12 hours by myself. No, what is that game show? But it's like a Survivor, but they all live in a house.
Oh, Big Brother.
Yes. So Big Brother had After Dark or After they could see. So they're like, get a Twitter and follow him on Twitter. So I got it. Couldn't figure it out. Never was able to follow him. And that's how for like 3 years I had a Twitter account.
But wasn't able to follow Big Brother. So you got it because of Big Brother.
Because I'm in.
So here's something new and different too. If you notice, we've got our ESPN-like graphics up there. I'm going to read them for you since the font is tiny if you're watching on your phone. Coming up is Mike Goodwin joins the broadcast at the start of the second quarter. Second quarter, brag on the fam with Angie, Marty, and the bow tie. Then in the second quarter, we might do a little past my prime or not. Then at halftime, Angie's going to do her thing. But look at our little graphic there. I stole this from the LeBron James, Michael Jordan comparison graphic and put us down there. And if you would like, if you're watching the show and you think, man, Marty's just doing such a great job keeping things positive and want to share some money with Angie and maybe our guest, Mike, you can actually tip the show on Venmo at Marty Simpson. And we're not going to promote that a lot.
Hilarious.
Every like 3 to 7 minutes, we're going to remind you of that. And it's going to hang out on the show. So let me look at my notes real quick. And let's see, quick teases of the halftime and the Hardy behind the scenes and then brag on the fam. So do you have any brag on the fam? See, we got a 2-minute timer going on. It's hard to.
It says 56 seconds. Yeah.
It's hard to point the right direction of the timer. It's like it's not mirrored.
Oh, yeah, it is opposite.
Software is like, yeah, there you go. So also you got covered up by the graphics. So you're doing a good job making sure you're in it because it's going to be on that side each time. Whatever. There you go. That's right.
Yeah. So anyways, like I was like really excited today.
All right. So 37 seconds to get a little brag on the fam.
What the heck is happening?
Yeah, I think
Hardy, good job.
Yeah, Hardy's killing it back there. So any brag on the fam for you, the quarter's going to end here. If you want to shout out to your family, we're going to see your family at halftime. But if you want to brag on them a little bit.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll brag on my family. Here's a quick, I can get it in 15 seconds. Walt Simpson on a live poker site last night paid $1 and played a 27-member 3-table sit and go and won the tournament and won $9 on his $1 investment. So he went 9x. So there's the end of the first quarter and we timed that just right. That's awesome. So now during the break of the first quarter, we're going to go to Hardy. We're going to bring Hardy into the broadcast and you can read any of the comments that we have, Hardy, and put them up on the screen. Anything that's anything interesting. I think that I'm seeing one comment. So maybe I didn't tease it. Oh, there.
There you go.
Hi,
Hello,
Larry.
Angie from Alaska. This is Larry, formerly from Alaska. Howdy to Marty from your formerly opener once, but it was a highlight of my comedy career. Oh, Larry Goodale.
That's nice.
Are you not in Alaska anymore, Larry? Is what I would wonder because you said, or are you just dressed up nice in Alaska? Are you formally in Alaska, or are you formerly in Alaska? I can't understand that. But Larry plays the keyboard and filled the theater. And actually, this is a little known fact. I'll brag. I'm not going to brag, but
Hey,
Dina, awesome. Thank you, Dina. The place I went was where, Angie? Cordova? Yeah,
Cordova, Alaska.
I was the first comedian ever paid to do comedy in Cordova based on the current mayor and Chamber of Commerce people that were there. They said, to our knowledge, we've never paid an outsider to fly in.
I like that the mayor, like you were such an event that the mayor weighed in and knew the history of the comedians being paid in Cordova. That's fascinating. All those things are fascinating.
I know. And if you fly into Cordova, when you land,
Are you sure they were a mayor? Not just a guy?
And I'm sure that 27 people voted for him to get him elected also. So here's when you fly into the Cordova airport, you land, you walk in to a mobile home, which is the departures and arrivals and baggage claim. There is no TSA. There's nothing. So anybody out there that wants to do anything with jets or anything, you can go right to Cordova and get escorted right on the plane.
That's how, not just Cordova. That's how a lot of like Kenai, like a lot of small towns are like that. It's actually weirded me out too.
So look at this. The second quarter started. It's keeping us snappy right on the stage. I'd also like to tell the audience, in case it is applicable on our first time, Angie's contract has her to stay till the end of regulation. If the game goes into overtime, she might have to do hair. She might have to deal with one of her 17 kids or dogs or whatever's going on.
I got stuff to do, Marty. It's Corona season.
Yes, that is awesome. I'm glad you got a hairbrush there because I forgot to get my hairbrush. But at the end of the second quarter, when we go into the halftime, you got to do the girl sideline interview with me about what happened in the first half.
Oh, why is it got to be a girl's job? Why is it got to be a girl's job?
Well, I'm saying like Susie Colbert, what like the people who are the famous people, Hardy? Like I don't know their names because you know they're
I'm
women.
teasing.
Oh, no.
So much more fun.
Oh
so
my
much more
God.
fun. This show is lit. Okay, now start of the second quarter. We got to get our guests in here. This is one of my original mentors. He's the OG of Marty Simpson's comedy career. I met Horace Sanders at Last Comic Standing when I tried out in 2008, and I said, I don't know anybody that can work with me. And he was like, hey, my homie is in Columbia, South Carolina. Where do you live again? I was like, Columbia, South Carolina. He was like, you got to get with this guy. And he put me on stages way before I deserved to be there. And he's one of my all-time favorite guys. He makes me laugh like nobody else. Please give a warm Marty's hang time to Mike Goodwin.
Yay!
Good music cue, Hardy. We didn't even tell Hardy to do that, and he played like the Motown cue. That's cool.
We got music.
That's awesome. All right, Mike, what is up, man? How are you doing?
What's up, man? It's a lot of questionable stuff happened in the first quarter. So
let's get a rundown. Let's get Mike Goodwin's rundown of the first quarter real quick.
I come in with a lot of concerns for the first quarter.
It's a solid show. Let's go.
We talked about crackers of earrings that I was very concerned about. That was
Communion crackers.
Like Ritz.
made me a little nervous when we heard that word. Big Brother After Dark. I don't know if you understand that is salacious type behavior.
I never got to see it. No, I just thought it was like more of the show.
No. It's more of the show. All right. It's
Mike watched it and it's judging you for wanting to watch it. That sounds like a real spiritual.
It was like upload Twitter.
I just know I know what After Dark means. Like I didn't know what other. You put After Dark behind anything.
I'm like, good. Okay, guys, I think it's safe, everybody. All you young women, let's go.
Hey, you put Salvation Army After Dark. It's like, wait a minute. What's happening?
Hold on. Time out a second. I'm going to call it a quick time out. Is that a bit already, or did we just write you a new bit? That's how we help out.
Amazing.
The timeout warning. But we help our comedians come on the show. If you just listen to Marty and Angie hang out for a minute, you get 30 new seconds of material. That's gonna be in your act for 5 years. And now you got like 9 After Dark jokes.
You put Salvation on it.
Like After Dark jokes in the comments, people.
Hey, After Dark. You just can't put that on things.
Let's do a few. What is it like? Let's go. Sunday school after
dark.
So what kind of Sunday school? Yeah, after dark, baby.
I got a hair appointment at Anji Salon.
After dark.
Okay, wait. It was funny for a minute.
I was just
PBS After Dark.
Yeah, the real laugh never sounds good, Hardy. Do the solo stupid laugh. Like, let's see what that sounds like.
That was a good one too. PBS After Dark.
Yeah, that is good. That's terrifying. That is terrifying.
PBS After Dark. Yeah, no, I think you're right. After Dark. That's why I shoot the show.
It's like some weird like painting. Like
I don't want to know.
We don't even know.
Faces. We are racking up the smiley faces, Mike Goodwin. I see it happening. I can't point to them, but right there.
Like you gotta back out of there. Like if you was driving a car, you're like, hey, back up, get out of there.
You guys hear
back up out of there.
That ain't after death, okay? That's after dark. Let's go.
Get up out of here. You're in the wrong neighborhood.
Oh,
we are righteous people.
Oh man.
I'm on out in light.
I'm on Andrew Young Boulevard. We got to back it up.
Get out of here, buddy. Kids, cover your eyes. Cover your eyes, kids. We are
let me just
pause after dark.
Coronavirus after dark. I'm sorry.
Okay, pause for a second. On the internet, we end up talking over each other, but I will say this. This is episode number 6. Andrew Stanley got us off the ground. What did we say, Angie? Andrew got that podcast off the ground, got us launched. And this is by far the best episode so far, Mike. So you come in rolling, blasting.
Hey, we must have ran one back off the kickoff. That's what we did. We ran one back.
Like, but let's not let it be like Ohio State when they ran it back. Like Ted Ginn ran it back against Florida, and they were lost like 60-7 to Tebow.
Let's go again. All the point.
My daughter thinks Tebow is the Rhino on Masked Singer. Are you watching Masked Singer or not?
I stay away from things with masks and white people. I try to.
Hey, just for what it's worth, Hardy is in the booth, but he's only in my headset, and he busted out laughing at that. That was great.
It's a good principle of life for me to try to.
I feel like we already got the promo. Like this is the promo now for the rest of the season on
He
this
stays
show.
over
This
from
is
white
great.
people after.
It has me sweating. After dark.
Well, what else? What else did you notice? Those are the only things. Those are still pretty good. Solid show.
Solid show. Yeah. Here's what I told. Here's the pitch that I gave Angie. Angie, we talk on the phone and I hit speakerphone and my family dies laughing. I think we should just have a show where our conversation goes out to the public.
Right.
And let me interrupt your daily life of whatever you're doing in Alaska, because that's usually the premise of what happens. And there's some structure involved in it, but not a lot.
Right.
There's not a lot of structure involved in it. So this is good. This is perfect. This is exactly. Let me just say to Mike Goodwin when we're messaging, Mike has a thing he does where he's like one of my best friends in comedy, one of the nicest guys you ever meet, the super guy that'll do anything you need for him, especially in comedy. He's performed at some really horrible things. Let me tease one thing: the Cookies and Cream comedy team might get talked about later in this show. And I'm doing you a favor, Mike, because we only have dozens of viewers now. When you come back on in a few months, we got thousands of viewers. I'll have already talked about the Cookies and Cream comedy team.
I got PTSD whenever you hear.
Here, let me just tell you, the Cookies and Cream comedy team was definitely after dark.
Way after dark.
So, but Mike
that's like
is
next level.
Go ahead, Angie.
I said that's like next level.
Yeah.
Is it just after dark? That's bad. No, this
After
is really
after dark. It was too after.
Okay.
It was like it literally was after the high school football game. We'll get to it. We're teasing that. But so we have a segment that we call "Brag on the Fam," Mike. And let me get us back to the rolling. The clock is amazing. It's keeping me on task. And what this segment is basically like Hardy and different friends of mine. We just kind of have a designated phone call that we make that we're like, hey, I want to talk to you about what my daughter did because it was so amazing. I can't say it at a cocktail party because then I look like that guy bragging. And you can't post some brags on Facebook because you just look like the dad bragging. You have to kind of mask it in like, oh, I'm just hanging out at the game. Home run. But
I don't even really know who number 64 is. That number 64, I don't know. Did you see that? Interception, take back, tight, whatever.
I don't know anything about football. I just filmed my son's game. Is this a good play from Alaska?
Right,
while my son scores something. So, do you have anything?
See this letter that random child just got recruiting that random child, all his accolades? I don't even know.
So, Mike, right now, do you have anything? We're not going to mock you. We're not going to mock for what you chose. That's awesome. My producer throwing that down like right there. It's beautiful. So you get the mic now to say whatever you want complimentary about your family. And you can fade that music out because it is kind of distracting, Hardy, to the people that are new into the show and stuff. But that's awesome. So go, Mike. Brag on the family. Oh, that's the 2-minute warning. When you see the punter logo, that's the 2-minute warning. So we'll do the 2 minutes. So go, Mike. Brag on your family.
I had a great father-son moment last night. My son and I watched the Michael Jordan documentary. We did. Yeah. We watched it on ESPN2 where they blanked out the curse words. So that was.
Oh, I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, that's ESPN2 is.
We just watched it after dark.
Right. You watched Michael Jordan after dark. I didn't
smoking his cigars and cussing.
So that was cool. And then my daughter and my wife, they created a company called Gabby Bows. So they're always packing barrettes and.
Go ahead and type Gabby Bows if you want to all our viewers out there. You'll get like a half an order based on the number of viewers we have right now.
I want to get some. I got 2 little girls. I love big hair bows. Yeah.
So one thing I didn't anticipate was when I made this graphic, it put me and Angie here and then Mike all the way to the side. So we kind of squeezed our guest into like a third of his third or whatever.
I keep trying to stay within.
I know you were savvy. You're a pro, Mike. That was a pro move. Mike got into brag on the fam, and then he was like, "I'm gonna chill it on over to this side."
Yeah, right. Mike just pretend he's humble. He just wants to see himself better on the screen. He's like, I can barely see my face. I don't even know.
Speaking of which, I hate when comedians don't know where their light is, and they do like a whole show like this, like the shadow, and then they're just like the whole show here, and then when they go to put the mic back in it, you're like, "Oh, there's the mic." And right. But anyway. All right, we got 1 minute left in the half. You see the blinking red. That means we're down to 1 minute. So Gabby Bows, we probably hear more about in the future when we have you back on the show. But Mike's with us for the third and fourth quarter. But let me tease a little bit here. Coming up, Angie's halftime show, because we did get a little bit of feedback on the first 2 episodes that I was a little bit male dominated on the show. So my wife was like, who could be on the show to kind of keep you balanced? And Anji Stubbs won the poker tournament at CCA, Christian Comedy Association. She won our fantasy football league. She plays softball. She plays dodgeball. And she's just about as a girly girl as it gets that can reach out to different people. So she has a little makeup video that I have seen and I endorsed. So that's kind of like our Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake halftime show, kind of Christina Aguilera. I didn't mean to name that one like it was.
This one's in the light. This one is
after
in
dark.
the light.
Hey, Janet Jackson is after dark. That's not.
This is our halftime show before dark. I didn't mean
this
to
is
say
at
Janet
dawn.
Jackson.
This is at dawn.
At dawn, halftime at dawn. So that was there we go. So and then I was looking at that, Hardy. I was reading the little teases and you moved it off the screen, but that's okay. That's cool. You were perfect up to that point. You didn't want to pitch a perfect hitter on your first show, so that's good, Hardy.
Hardy, you're killing it. You're just killing it.
Yeah. So when the half ends, we're gonna go to halftime, and then when we come back out of the half, if you think of anything, brag on the fam comments, people. We've brought audience members in on the show to brag on their family. That's a cool thing that we do. And if you're not ready to do it yet, but you want to comment on us, you can email me at laugh@martysimpson.com and tell me what you're going to do. Then we'll bring you on as a guest to brag on your family. We did that twice already. It's been a lot of fun. And then we go in at half. Angie will interview me to you hold the brush. You brought the brush, so I thought if you use the brush to interview me, I think that's really cool. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get a brush next time, and I'll just have it just off the screen, so it'll like enter the screen from the side.
And like all this hair, like just like tickling my mouth as I'm talking.
That's hilarious. But then, but also, Mike, after half, we do a little segment called "Past My Prime." So if you could be spinning your wheels on, it doesn't really have to be anything. It could be how you dropped 40 at the YMCA game, and everybody else was past their prime. If you want to do that, but just anything that maybe I know you walked in a boot for like 6 months about a year and a half ago or whatever. That might be something we could touch on. But also, just to tease one more time, you're going to hear maybe at the start of the fourth quarter about the Marty Simpson and Mike Goodwin Cookies and Cream comedy team, dream team. And that's one of my all-time favorite Mike Goodwin stories that he's still bitter about.
Look at his face. I know he's like
12 years ago. He's like, oh, Marty, I would have said no. I didn't tell him in my message. We're going to tell the cookies and cream story, because he would have been like, nope, I'm not doing it. He was already complaining he had to stay on the bench for the first quarter. And I messaged, he was like, well, I'm not a starter. I'm on the guest. I'm not a starter. All right, so let's get to the half. Put the theme music on as we roll to the half. Take Mike out of it. It'll leave Angie to interview me for like 30 seconds. Then we'll go to Angie's halftime show. But Mike, you're still in it. You're going to start the third quarter with a bang like you did. Sorry, we're jogging in a half. I'm going to get an updated background that'll make it look like we're in the thing. So I'm like the coach, and I'm going to give you the coach answers. So,
all right, I got stuff on my brush though. So Marty, I'm going to interview you. How are you doing? How do you feel this game's going right now? Like, do you feel like your players are all in or all out?
Well, we prepared a long time for this one, and that's a great team over on the other side of the internet there. 10 or 12 people watching. I feel like some of the technical difficulties got straight. But, we're going to get that together. Assistant coach is working hard, but we're good. We got a good program around here, but that's a good team over there.
Okay, so is this like a real question? Did you answer that for real? Are you trying to get a real job?
The music is too loud, Hardy. We can't concentrate through it. Like, is it too loud for you, Angie?
Well, yeah, but I like it.
It's like a weird, blaring in my head. I just want to I'll do what Dabo Sweeney does in the interviews. I'll just start shouting about Jesus.
The music sounds like some kind of like Russian, like jovial, like dance party.
It's NFL Films music. All the guys like the music, but I like
that is
for me. All right, so that was our halftime interview. So that
I don't get it, but I just happy we could do it.
Yeah, that's good. Let's so we'll work on that. We'll get that better. But I knew if I emailed Angie and said, could we prepare something for the halftime interview, she'd have been like, oh, this show is killing me, Marty. We're talking about it too much.
Yeah.
I'll spring it on her, and then she'll feel kind of icky about how poorly that one went, and then she'll bring the A game next.
That's true. I'm like, why did we do that?
Have her curlers in, whatever, hair salon dryer on her head, aluminum foil, whatever. It'll be great next time. So now, Hardy, get her video queued up. This is Angie's Alaska, and we're not going to play her intro video because I forgot to do that in the first quarter, but this is intro enough. Angie is comedian extraordinaire, one of my best friends in comedy also, and this is, so you take it from here and you cue Hardy to play the video. So you introduce the video.
Well, it literally is a pointless video, but you're trying to manage your life. I supposedly am a comedian. I don't really work and do that either, but on my real job is a hairstylist, right? And I can't do that right now. Like literally, they're saying everything I do is non-essential. I'm telling my children parenting is halfway non-essential too.
The way you and I parent, it probably is non-essential.
Like, you'll be fine. No, it's kidding.
If you had to vote, would you say that parenting is less essential than hair salon to your customers, not to you, obviously?
No, like in their opinion,
right? Like I'm saying, the women who aren't getting their hair colored every 5 weeks probably think you're more essential.
No, I mean.
Okay, I train right. Introduce the video. That was my fault.
Are you serious with the question again?
Introduce your video. We'll roll the video.
All right, the video is me and my two little kids, my middle two. I've got 5 kids. It's my 11-year-old and my 13-year-old, and they were bored. I was bored, and so I decided to let them take my makeup off and apply it perfectly. Anyways, they're allowed to do anything they want to my makeup except take my lashes off. Because we know them know what they're doing. Already, they're real excited. So, I'm feeling beautiful already. They're going to turn this into a model. Just slap it on there. That's what I do every morning. Oh! You know, I never regret decisions like this. I'm feeling gorgeous. The pleasures and the thrill, you know what I mean? I'm going to choke. Honestly, what are you doing? Oh no, I think you might have messed up for the first time.
We were doing okay until it.
I'm actually with Bentley. You do this side, this will be Bella's side, and I'll do a Facebook who did the best. I'm so terrified with you touching me, and I don't know why. Wow, Bella. So many people want to stay in the lines, and you're just like out of the box thinker. Oh yeah, Conjuring. You watch some Conjuring videos, and you're gonna end up being 40 and having 2 kids, put makeup on you, and it's gonna be the best time of your life. It's not every day you feel as beautiful as I get to feel today. You know?
Are we talking about your eyelashes? Right?
Are you talking about these things, Bentley?
Yes.
Those are brows.
Okay. This one.
When the barn needs a paint, I guess just slap the paint on it, you know what I mean? Bentley on the right, we gotta have, give us a B-E-N-T-L-E, what we got a Bentley. Oh, oh, oh. We got a Bella on the left. Go, we go, flow, 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 flow. So vote! Give us your vote. Honestly, it's all that matters today. We're pretending we're YouTubers, and I watched a couple of their YouTube friends, and boy, are they annoying. Peace out, okay? Dab, dab, dab. Oh, my bangs. Oh, my bangs. Oh, my bangs. Dab.
No.
So, anyways, I'm really glad that they got me ready for our date tonight. Mm-hmm. He loves me. Waggle, waggle.
Okay, let me just say this. I watched 9 minutes and got it down to 5 minutes and got it down to 2 minutes. And when I watched the 2-minute version, I laughed so hard, and it was so long just now on the air. We got to get it to like 30 seconds next time. But I laughed out loud like 5 different times.
Play it on loop. Play it on loop. Mike loved it.
Just on loop. Mike, you thought the first quarter had some question marks. So coming out of the half, starting the third quarter, Mike deferred to the third quarter, so you get to receive the kickoff, Mike. Let's we just kicked off to you, Mike. Let's run with it a little bit.
Yeah, it went off the rails again. It was
that was actually that off the rails was in the running for the name of this show. And I was gonna do like a cat. I was going to do a wagon wheel, like an old Oklahoma Sooner wagon wheel, and just have it go and just fall off like.
But Mike,
it was very enjoyable until you had a black eye. Like it was very. I was digging it, and I'm like, "Why does he have a black eye? That's not good."
Well, what happened?
Imagine 35 minutes of that. I sat there for 35 minutes just going.
But I don't know what's more offensive, the black eye or the dab. I don't know what kind of karate.
My son hates dabs. Like they hate it.
That's not even a real dab.
Like and then I always go like this. I go back dab. You guys back dab.
Call the dab. You call it something bacteria.
I always say destroy all bacteria. Dab, guys. Right? Destroy bacteria.
Your son was like, "No, mom."
Yeah, my kids are like every time they're like they roll with me the whole time, and then they're like, "No, we just can't now." And I'm like, "Ah."
When I was editing the video, I realized when I watched the 2-minute version, I skipped the part where she's making the eye black. So it like went from like normal, boom, kid punched you in the eye, which kind of makes it funnier in a way. But there was the scene where like Bella clumped on this like black eye part, but it just I didn't say anything funny because I think Angie went like, and it made it look like, I don't know, it just made it look like you weren't happy about it. And I just cut that part out. Economy of story.
Like would be like a pro wrestler at some point when they finished it all. They would go.
I'm rude. Actually, what you didn't see, so my 13-year-old son, he was a good sport about it because he was also so bored. He's now applying makeup, and that's I kind of felt bad about. But what you didn't see in the longer version, he's like, yeah, this reminds me of my play when I was like one of those bad kids. And he's like trying to act tough while he's making it. He goes, Mom, can I let me give you bruises on your hand. Like that's how they did to me with some of the makeup. I'll use the makeup on your hand. I'm like, yeah, you're tough, but as he's like nicely combing my eyebrows.
Also, tell us more about the parts we cut out of that long video.
Okay, guys. We still have 8.5 minutes. Not quite enough for me to replay all of it. Okay.
No, this is what we have Angie on the show for. Like, I mean, it's like left Mike Goodwin speechless coming back out of the half. He had to punt there. That was 3 and out, Mike. You went 3 and out of the third quarter there.
No first downs on that.
Well, here's what I'll say. The reason I love this video is because Angie's salon in Alaska, she's a professional hairstylist and she's professional beautician / making the women look better and everything. And then she just leans right into the camera and lets makeup get plumped on her eye like a black eye from her kid and stuff. So there's no pretense involved in young Angie Stubbs here.
Well, I thought it was funny. Oh, good.
No, the other thing, your son had a grown man laugh in there at some point. It was very.
He does have he's got 2 big brothers too. And he's got
Did a lumberjack just walk into the screen? I'm not so concerned.
Okay, Mom.
Did a lumberjack just walk into the screen? I will say this: we have one more viewer during the video than at the start of the video. So not only did we hold on to all our viewers, we added one because somebody was so excited about this black eye video they shared it.
Or like they're like us. When it comes back, all 3 of us are like this. Okay. Like Mike looked like he was like.
What did the monkeys, Hardy? What did the monkeys think of it? What did the monkeys think of it, Hardy?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Poker face.
That's our action
poker face.
That's our action cam. We got Yoda and monkeys, and we got cameras set up all over the place. So,
Mike, what are you doing with your life? Are you working?
A lot of push-ups.
Yeah. Oh, you doing a push-up challenge?
No, I don't record my workouts. Nobody wants to do that.
Mike does have like an Operation No T-shirt hashtag that went off the rails a little bit, right, Mike?
Yeah. That's why I discontinued posting because I had a lot of inappropriate comments from cougars in my church. It really pulled the lust to the surface, so I stopped posting.
That's
but
hilarious.
The microphone lost that and it skipped. You said cougars in your church, right?
Yes.
So Operation No T-shirt turned into Operation Stumbling Block Brother.
Right. Young man. Operation Come Here, Young Man.
Here's my Twitter to follow me after dark.
After dark callback. You got to watch the highlights from the second quarter. That made it look like Mike's laugh. That
was eerily similar to.
Which brings me to a little topic I did want to discuss with Mike. Mike, if you download or go on Amazon Prime and watch Marty Simpson Clean If It Kills Me, you can hear 12 minutes of Mike Goodwin's laughter at my taping in the back of the room because Mike Goodwin has the best and footnote, sometimes the worst laugh to have at a comedy show for a comedian because he's going to laugh when the joke doesn't work because it's funny to comedians. And that's when it's the worst because you hear one nutty professor, Dave Chappellian, But I've been on Mike with the road trip and in the car, he laughs like that. So it's genuine. I want to say, I've convinced myself it's genuine.
I just enjoy laughing.
I'm
a laugher.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
All right, so let's stay on task. We got 4.5 minutes left in the third. Do you have anything that is, past my prime that illustrates your past? So you were in Operation No T-shirt, doing a lot of push-ups, coronavirus. Anything happened lately to you that lets our audience bond with you because we're all a little bit past our prime?
Oh yeah, every time I wake up in the morning. Yeah.
Here I am again.
Every time. It's these strange feelings in my body that I'm like, why is that hurting? I just went to bed.
Right.
I didn't even do anything. I just
wake up.
There's no exercise.
You wake up at 5 a.m. and do a workout. No. I just woke up.
I just lay down. My shoulder hurts. Like somebody was jumping on my shoulder at night. Like, why?
I'm noticing some conflicting story, Mike, because earlier you said, I'm doing a lot of push-ups. And then I said, well, what? And you go, I don't videotape it. And then just now you said, I'm going to bed, my shoulder, I'm doing nothing. I don't think you're actually doing those said push-ups.
It hurts. Like, it doesn't hurt when I'm doing push-ups. Like,
shoulder? Your shoulder doesn't hurt when you're doing push-ups?
That's not a shoulder exercise. I'm just like, when I lay, it could be my back. Like, it's not the same. I get up and my neck hurt. Like, I didn't do neck exercises.
Right.
I just hurt.
I separated my shoulder on my 40th birthday, tucking in my shirt. Just like, hey, Yeah.
Hey, I tore my Achilles and I wasn't even doing anything.
Tell us the Achilles story. So Mike walked around in a boot for 6 months. We did open mics at the grungy mics downtown Columbia. Mike's there with his boot on.
So yeah, I'm beyond my I was past your prime. I was playing basketball, but I wasn't doing anything that would require an injury. I just was dribbling. I dribbled, I went to pivot, and my Achilles was like, all right, man, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna get on out of here.
Wow. So you had what's called a non-contact injury,
I was dribbling the ball. I was dribbling. I went to turn, and my Achilles was like, "All right, man, it's been good knowing you, but I'm."
And that's
you didn't do like a little old man crossover. Nothing to put any strain on it. You were just dribbling, and it went ping like it was a rubber band that just stretched and popped.
Standard dribbling.
Wow.
And my body said enough is enough.
What does an Achilles operation / rehab look like?
It's a lot of drugs.
There he is. Look how savvy Mike is.
Good job, Mike. And actually, Mike even knew which way to go. Instantly.
I know.
He is a dancer.
It didn't mirror. Like when it doesn't mirror, I always go the wrong way. Like I'm trying to point at it right now. Look, I just went for my gut to point at it. And it's like, nope, I got to point over there.
A lot of Oxycontin. I was on a lot of Oxycontin.
Oh wow, yeah. Oxycontin. That's good. You still got some?
I don't know if we can say that on the air. I think that's something.
So that's a yes. That is a profound yes. If you need to get any, comedian MikeGoodwin.com.
No. That really sounds a little bit like me.
It does. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Was you delayed just now?
I know. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're gonna end the third quarter showing a comedy clip of Mike's comedy, because one of my favorite things to do with my audience is to introduce my people who follow me to people that I love the comedy of. And this is definitely one of my favorite bits of Mike's. And I actually have the privilege and honor when Mike and I eat lunch and stuff. Some of the Mike's put a tag in my act, and I put the little jokes here and there in Mike's act. And so Mike was the first guy to, we'll get into this in the fourth quarter. We're going to tease this a little bit, but we're going to get to the Cookies and Cream comedy team. We're going to get back 12 years to when we were doing comedy. Mike had already been doing it 4 or 5 years and kind of brought me under his wing. And I always jokingly say to people, I didn't perform for white people for like 2 years. So I'm going to get this shared screen up on the screen there, Hardy, if you could do that. And we might need, it's good. We can leave the 30-second rollout, and then the quarter will just end, and I'll hit play over here on this other screen, because we'll go from here. This is Mike Goodwin's comedy, people.
Another thing we love in the South is nicknames. Love nicknames in the South. I realize there's some people I've been knowing my entire life. I don't know their real name. My brother called me the other day. He said, hey, man, you know, Mark Davis's mom passed away. Like, I don't know no Mark Davis, man. He's like, Stanky, man. Stanky mama passed. I'm like, why you ain't say that from the start? I need to give Stank a call. We try to be funny with nicknames. We call big people nicknames like Tiny, Slim. Mm-hmm. We nickname people after food. I know a cornbread, a pork chop, and a collard green. I know this one dude, his nickname is Boss, and he ain't got no job. I'm like, who you the boss of? Yourself? Yeah, but I think white dudes have the coolest nicknames. I really do. Because white dudes' nicknames go with them their entire life. White dudes have nicknames like Rusty, Skip, Chip.
Yep.
Like your nickname could be Chip. You could be the CEO of a bank. You can have Chip on your business cards. The brothers can't do that. Pookie can't be a branch manager at the bank. You don't trust your money with Pookie. Like, right this way, Dr. Junebug will see you. Like, no, he will not.
You know what is funny is my husband was called Chip, and his dad is called Chip. They call him Chipper, and they own like construction companies, like everything else is like Chip, Chippy, Chip, like all these people. And Mike, and their friends are called. They're not even their real names. They're so obviously my name is Brett, but then my friends that call him Chip, Chippy, whatever. I can't even think of their real name either, but like that's not their real name. And so when you're saying, I didn't even realize that was a white person's nickname. I didn't know. We like
And it's probably on their business. It's probably on their business
Oh,
card.
for sure. Because I never even knew their names weren't Chip, and I'm related to them. So it's not like I've learned it.
Right.
But what about Bubba? Because my son's name is Bubba. Do you guys like?
Bubba, yep. There's a lot of Bubbas.
So
Yep.
there's inner connection. We can all have Bubba on our business cards.
Yeah, well, yeah. White people can.
Yeah. So, well, Marty has a little technical difficulty. Y'all just keep on chatting about.
Oh, okay.
Names?
Did we fire our coach?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. We made a
Did you
coaching
know-
change.
And a coaching change at half.
My second son's name is Buster. Did you know that, Mike?
I did not know that. Now, so tell me your children's name.
So, but it says that Buster's his real name. Nobody believes that's his real name. My oldest is Bladen, and I wanted a weapon. I wanted Braden kind of, but then I also liked Cage and Blade and Steel. I thought I was gonna raise some real tough child.
For the first name, Cage.
For first name, yeah, Cage. I used to be in love with Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
That's hard to admit now because he's a psychopath, but
yeah, makes sense.
he was in Face Off, and then it was such a good guy. And then Con Air, he was such a good guy in Con Air. Then he made some like Leaving Las Vegas, those things. Then he just, I don't know, he's insane. Owned castles. That's a long story. And then,
so we got Bladen.
Yeah, and then my second son's name is Buster.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember, actually it's funny because we used to own a fourplex and we lived in the unit. And when I lived there, I only had one kid, and then I had Buster. The lady, wonderful lady, she lived her whole life. She was African American. She raised her son. Then she became a grandma. So she lived there 20. So we owned that, and we were third owners that she'd lived through. She was just like staying there.
Right.
Well, I show up with my fifth kid, and she doesn't know the kid yet because we'd moved out. So I say the name, and she goes, so Buster's now 11 by the time she tells me this truth that she believed for 11 years. So I walk into her, and I tell Phyllis, my son's, your kid's name. She goes, you know about Buster? Your other kid's name is Buster? I was like, yeah. She goes, you really should change that. I was like, he's 11. And I'm like, why? She goes, it doesn't mean something good in the hood.
Oh, man.
Like literally what she told you, it doesn't mean something good in the hood. 11 years, the kid's 11, going into middle school. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Hey, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. The kid's going to the hood. I don't know where he's going.
Okay, so my internet went down or melted down, and it came back just in time for me to hear Buster. No, that means something different in the hood. I was like, this show just might as well be called Marty's Hangout After Dark.
Yeah, off the rails after dark.
Off the rails after dark. That's awesome. Hashtag there. So I don't know what happened when we screen shared. Did y'all see the whole comedy clip or not? Just for my data purposes. Did it lock up or anything?
It did lock up on my.
So
I didn't know it.
like Pookie can't be the branch manager of a bank. You said in a little tiny, like you were tiny on the stage and just froze.
Yes. But the audio was fine.
But the audio was fine.
Good.
Yeah, we got. I don't know what's happening with that. I probably signed into Fortnite is probably what happened because we're like huge rolling in it around here. I didn't make my announcement, but anyway. So professional Anji Stubbs, she's a conversationalist as a profession in her hair salons. That was good. So what quarter are we in? Have we started the fourth quarter yet, Hardy?
Yes, we should be the fourth.
Okay, so I don't. There's no timer up there. I don't know what to do with my life without the timer. This is great.
The third quarter end on the clip. I think that was a little odd.
Yes, the third quarter ended on the clip. That was like a timeout, TV timeout. They went to the benches, everybody talking, and then they had it was like a lightning.
Just roll it now. Just roll it now.
It was like a lightning
We'll
thing.
go get a snack.
So, yeah. So, Hardy, you trying to get the fourth quarter clock up there or not?
You want comments or not?
Oh, yeah. So at the pause between the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we got the comments. So, Hardy, throw some. So, Sam Beeman says, I just noticed that. What you're not going to do. So, what did he just notice, you think? I wonder what he's referring to.
The third quarter ended on the clip.
Oh,
Right.
Nice.
Mike Goodwin is.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome. One time I hurt my shoulder practicing for a puppet ventriloquist routine without even having a puppet on my arm. My wife laughed. I'm going to say, Mike, let's go back to Larry's comment. Mike was dribbling a basketball and this is worse, right? This is worse.
This is clearly worse.
I'm not trying to, but I'm saying this is bragging rights that you get to brag that you're worse. It's not, I'm not saying anything personal against you, Larry.
It might have been a heavy puppet where the puppet wasn't even on his arm yet.
And it's not even a real puppet. It's like a human. He's like, I want to make you say stuff.
You can't tell it the puppet not being on your hand is the problem.
Right. Yeah, that's like a better story. You got to economize.
The puppet's on. Like there's no practice.
Right. The economy of storytelling and jokes. You just got to be like, had a puppet on my hand and separated my shoulder. We're like, oh, ha ha ha. We all connected. That laughs. Now we got questions like
he just like doing his hand like, oh, too far back.
Was the puppet ever going to be on? Like, was there a plan for the puppet to be on? Or
Harry, was it Puppet After Dark? That's the question.
Because then we don't even want to talk about it. No.
That's amazing. Okay. Are those the comments?
Send me that Twitter. Send me that Twitter.
Out there.
Oh, yay.
Miss Clarice is watching. Is that somebody we know?
Yeah.
Mike just said he knows him.
Okay.
You know Miss Clarice?
I know her.
Yeah.
From Right Direction?
Baltimore.
Oh,
Stanky's mom.
Oh, yeah. No, of course. Oh, yeah. Miss Clarice. Oh, yeah. She was at the Northeast CCA, I think.
Right.
NERCA, the best branding name of all time, the Northeast Regional Christian Comedy Association, or as they like to call it, the NERCA Conference. All right, so we're going into the fourth quarter. Let me look at my notes here. I got a little rattle. That's amazing. God's will that I like locked up. That's the first time that's happened while Angie was here. We had delay a game on Simp. Is that what you just called, Hardy? Did you throw a flag? Hardy? Throw a flag. Let's see the flag graphic work or not. Yes. Look at that. A slow motion flag. That's because I'm learning how to make GIF files on Photoshop as we speak. Because between the last show and this show, I spent 94% of my prep time editing a 35-minute makeup video. All right. So on the last show, Angie recapped and did a little rapping for us, but we're not going to force her to do it. But I just thought I'd throw it out there.
I don't mind.
Are you ready?
I'm not, because I broke my earring just now with my foot.
Cracker.
No, not that one. This one's okay. Yeah, Mike, I'm not sure if you've ever heard this term, rap.
Not familiar.
Okay. Okay, I'll freestyle for you. I'm gonna wrap up the show for you right now. You ready?
But now be careful though, we're not wrapping up the show to end it. This is just the start of the fourth quarter.
I just like to rap at random moments. So I'm here with some weird music that's way too slow for my rap, and I know that my friend Marty and my friend Mike really like when I rap, and they really love when they watch my makeup video. Whoa. I'm gonna teach Mike later how to rap when I buy his daughter's hair bow. Oh, I rhymed. Oh, that was the first one, never expected again.
Bars.
Yeah, I would go out on that one. Like,
Dab.
So on the last show, the first time she rapped for the show, we made a point that she wasn't allowed to rhyme because we had observed that nothing rhymed. But she actually called back something from the second quarter at the end of the line there. I think the music helped you rhyme it, Angie. I think
I think the music actually did help me do, like, I almost was like feeling like too slow. The music wasn't following me. The music wasn't following my.
You know, you can just do it in double time with the slow music behind you. That's how Dre does it. But I forgot about him. So.
So now you know what a rap is, Mike.
I don't know if that's a great representation of what rap is.
Okay.
Bars.
That's how rap rolls in Alaska, which is where rap started. It's actually a little known fact that in Ketchikan, Alaska, is where the first rap happened. I think it was about salmon.
I'm born. I'm rapping.
I think it was about salmon. I think it was like, yeah. Okay, all right.
Rapping fish.
Yeah, that was great. So let's see what the third quarter ended. We got the comments. We got more comments rolling in. Hardy, you can put some up there if you want. Just pop them in there if you want. Let's see what that says. The LOLGCA. That's the Living on Laughter Gospel Comedy Association, right? And Roxanne is saying that as a response to the NERCA.
That you said, yeah, I guess.
Well, the LOLGCA and the NERCCA are in direct competition there for.
There's so many groups out here. All this comedy.
Mike's face turned out.
Okay, so we have teased this the whole time.
He loved it.
Mike's face during the rap made my afternoon.
That's my guy. Patrick can rap.
Patrick Fowler.
Okay, let me teach you a little bit something.
Okay.
WRAP.
Patrick is a true lyricist. Patrick.
Right. We're going to have to mute Anji here in a second, but that's okay. That's just a thing that happens occasionally. Patrick Fowler, you're officially invited onto Marty's Hang Time, either the next episode or the one after, and to do a rap battle with Anji. But I want to let you know the battle voting is going to be based on who the audience likes better. And Anji has the most likability points of anybody I've ever met, but don't expect to win.
I like Patrick.
Patrick is the awesome open mic at Art Bar. What's the name of it? Mike Goodwin is
Art Bar.
I know, but what they call it a thing. I forgot, Patrick. I want to shout you out, Patrick, but it's like the most irresistible not named thing. It's like a long name of the open mic or whatever. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, I just called it the open mic at Art Bar.
That's what I call it too. It's the open mic where you got to go at 4 p.m. to sign up on the chalkboard, and somebody's already put 16 names.
No,
on
I
the
thought
chalkboard.
they changed that. You don't have to do it like that. You just
Okay, cool.
Patrick, know you come.
Oh man, well Patrick, you're a guest of the show, Patrick. If you want to come on here, you gotta we don't have a 7 second delay though, Patrick. So we got to keep it clean. You know, it's internet live. It's live internet. So if something slips out like after dark, yeah,
you had a little after dark comment just now.
Yeah, we'll just pray for you live on the show, Patrick. Is all we'll do there. It's cool. You can have Renato come on too with you if you need to. So Patrick Fowler's awesome. That watching Mike watch Anji rap. That probably what we're gonna do now is call Mike on the phone, have him sign in to watch Anji rap as a recurring.
Trust me. I already have Mike. Mike, don't worry. You gave me your number like 4 CCAs ago. Trust me, I'm calling you. I don't even care if you block me. I'll get a new number.
Time out. Anji also spelled what she did WRAP.
Oh God.
That is a problem.
Yeah. No, I think that was more accurate.
That's what you're not gonna do right there.
Yeah. And that's okay. So now we got 4 minutes. We're down by 6 and we're driving. We have the ball. We got 4:49. We're going. We got to get this cookies and cream comedy team story in before we get out of here. And if we need to go to overtime, the commenters will establish whether we go to overtime or not. But again, Anji's contract says she only has to stay for the end of regulation.
Yeah, I got like a real short attention span.
Yeah. So here we go. So I've been doing comedy about 5 months, maybe. We'd already done an old people's home together, Mike, where you broke me off at 20, and it was awesome. And Mike didn't offer to pay me anything, but we did an elderly care facility where, no lie, Corey Johnson, 7 minutes into his set, because of the audio mic that we were holding around wasn't working right, one old person on the front row said, "We can't hear you." And then Corey said, "Did anybody hear me?" And like half the people said, and he was like, "Well, I'm just going to start over." And he started over at the beginning of his set. And they all laughed like it was the first time they heard it. It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was like the third time I've ever done comedy. Then I did like 5 or 10 minutes. I did okay. Told my dog stuff, but I got some elderly people laughing. I got the nurses laughing. And then we're debriefing afterwards. And Mike looks like he needs a shower emotionally. Like he just needs to get this facility off of his mind. And he broke me off at 20. He's like, "I know I said I wasn't going to pay you, but you earned this 20. Just take this $20." It was like the 20 of shame. It was like, so then I got a phone call a week later from a youth pastor in Lexington, South Carolina at Mount Horeb, I think is the name of this place. And they were doing an after the football game Friday night comedy.
Was it fifth quarter? Jeez.
Fifth quarter after dark comedy show. And I said, well, I can't do 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but I got 2 friends, Corey Johnson and Mike Goodwin, African-American dudes. They're mentoring me. And it's kind of funny because if they both come, we could be the cookies and cream comedy team. I just said that in the phone call. Just said it in the phone call. I didn't sell us as the cookies and cream comedy team.
Yeah, right. I know how Marty retells. Marty retells it right now. Like it was like a 1 minute phone call. We know that it's 1 minute in Marty's life is like a 10 years in a dog's conversation.
And there were posters there.
Tell him, Mike, when we get there, what happened?
There were posters. I don't remember. I deleted it from my memory. So you have to dredge up this from my. It's in the recesses of my mind. I cannot.
Let me paint it for
you.
There
was a poster though. There was a cookies and cream comedy drink.
But Mike is not doing it justice. It was not a poster. It was a cheerleading run-through sign, like huge roll of paper across the back wall that like 7 girls had made. The C and the O were bigger than my body in cookies and cream.
No way.
It poured down rain. They moved all of the inflatable play gyms into the gym where we were going to do comedy. And we were supposed to do comedy in a little cafe for 60 people, but they had all of the after party from outside come into the gym. motors running and the generators like to fill up these sliding board things. And we're in front of this huge poster that says Cookies and Cream Comedy Team. And I did like 15, 20 minutes. And here's how new in comedy and how narcissistic I was. I got done and I was like, I thought it went pretty good. I thought it was okay. Mike looked me in the eye and said, no. And then I'm on the way home, driving home and splitting up the money, like $67 each or whatever, because it was $200 we got. And I was like, well, this beat's not getting paid to do comedy. And Mike's in the back looking out the window like he was Matthew McConaughey, like, this is not better than not getting paid to do comedy, Marty. This is not better. And he has been angry at me ever since then. Like, look at his sweat on his forehead now, just hearing the story be told. He's hiding behind the graphics this time.
Hey, and he's not sharing all the information. There was ping pong tournaments happening. While everything but the comedy show was happening.
We did 90 minutes, baby.
During the comedy show.
Oh, ping pong, like ding, 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 ding. Like
ping pong, laser tag, whatever you can imagine.
Yeah, 500 people in this gym running around.
And 16 are watching us. Like there's
oh my gosh.
16 kind of engaged in what we're doing. The other 482
they brought grills in. They had grills cooking that were inside the gym because it was pouring
I think we were doing tattoos in the back. I mean, whatever a person could be doing, it was happening.
Oh man!
While we were talking into a microphone.
Oh,
yelling
over the air handler generators over the microphone.
And at this time, I was working at Heathwood Hall. There was a student. There was a 9th grader there.
Wait, you were a 9th grader, or there was a 9th grader?
I worked at a high school.
So he had to
and one of your kids,
one of the 9th, not just a kid, a 9th grader. You know, so in the scheme of high school.
Oh, it mattered. Yeah, you were.
I
saw Mr. Goodwin last night at the Cookies and Cream Comedy Team.
Oh.
Hardy with a great sound effect.
Such a bad.
Oh my gosh!
To this day.
Now
that's
I'll tell you,
amazing.
In the movie that I write about the journey of our comedy little 2-year journey there, that scene is going to be like
more stories. There's plenty more stories.
Yeah. Well, we will save those. So
I love it.
That's the end of regulation. Angie, do you want to like recap the whole entire show with a rap, or you feel like you wrapped enough for this episode? Or?
I think that's a lot of rapping. I think we have. I'll take guest privileges, and I would like to throw my guest privilege fag. This is a guest privilege fag.
I'll just PM. I'll PM you and your family.
I want to challenge. I want to challenge that play. I want that played under review.
I'm about to rap. Look, I'm about to rap, Mike.
I want to challenge that play. No more dad.
Okay, wait. I gotta go look at it. I gotta look at the replay. Let me go under and look at the replay. Mike,
I can't do rap and dabs. Like you got to do one or the other. We can't do.
Okay.
Destroy all bacteria.
Okay. After further review, the ruling on the field.
Oh, Mike, I'll send it to you later. You'll like it better later.
Overturned. There will be no rapping on the show today. For a new rule instituted the National Federation Rulebook of Marty's Hangout, the guest has privileges.
You know what? I know why you don't want me to, Mike. You love that first one so much. You're welcome.
It's so high up there. Yeah, you can't. I don't know if you.
I don't even think I could top it either. You know, it really was solid. But it's like I'm just gonna be saying that all day.
Yeah, you said Gabby Bowles. I mean, there's no way to go back.
No,
drop the mic.
I gotta buy me some Gabby
Bowles. Mike.
And someday Mike will hopefully like my rap.
Look, she's like rapping now. She's like sneaking it in. You can't tell her not to. Her contract is up. All of this is voluntary work here. And she has stayed past the end of regulation.
Because I ain't gonna leave when Mike's telling me I can't rap. Just kidding.
Time out. We have 20 new comments, Hardy. Do you have any that you want to put up there? We have 20 new comments during the Cookies and Cream story. So this is the end of regulation. And then we are gonna add a segment to the game that is the post game presser. Like I'm gonna put a graphic.
I'm gonna let you guys go though. I do have to get to feeding some humans out there, the kids that I love with all my heart.
She just pretended to have life over there in the coronavirus.
Hey, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on out there. I got a big day. day.
Listen, everybody be quiet for 3 seconds and see if there's any noise coming from our house.
Mom, where are you? I really love you so much. Love you too, sweetie. I'll be there in a minute. Oh, you guys are feeding the crickets? Okay.
Chris says, use your powers of mute, coach. Chris, I hear where you're saying. Let me look in the camera and say this. I'm going to go into camera 2 here. If I had camera 2, that'd be funny. We were talking about doing that. But Anji Stubbs from Alaska can keep you entertained in the spite of anything. So there's not going to be a voluntary mute button on her, give or take a few episodes from now.
Yeah.
We'll
Right,
see.
okay.
But I guarantee if I muted her, there'd be 7 comments of loyal people being like, unmute Anji. And then I just couldn't live through it. So
That's because I literally have 7 phones in my own bedroom that I can just pretend I'm a listener. Just kidding. All right, Mike, I love you. I love you, Marty. I'll see
love you
guys
too.
later.
Peace out in Alaska.
All right.
We'll talk about you while you leave.
All right. Bye, Mike. You did awesome. Marty, you did great.
Good job,
Hardy,
Angie.
Hardy, you killed it.
Hardy.
How do I get out of this?
Now you're stuck in here. There we go. Well, that was a train wreck of wagon wheels rolling off. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I had a good time, man.
You had a good time? That's
time.
like a good quote. Say, I'm gonna pause for a second, and then you say like Marty's hangout was a good time, and then it'll be in the promo like that. Like
Marty's hangout was a good time.
yeah. So what you're not gonna do is not be on Marty's hangout.
Right.
I'll say this: we have broken our record of likes again. We got 22 comments. Hardy, do we have any comments that that Mike and I need to do in the presser? And I could, Mike, I could set you on your way too. Your contract was in regulation too, but you might want to. Some of these comments might be about you.
Yeah, we can do the presser. I don't want to.
Don't you think it would be worth it putting a new background behind me of like Adidas, or like the, you know what I mean? And then I could dress up like a big weird dragon woman like Cam Newton, have a wig on, and just come to the presser and then do the Marshawn Lynch. Like do the Marshawn Lynch is not
what up, Chris?
Chris Parnell says, "Hey, Mike, Anji is funny." Roxanne David, you're right about that. Anji is a hoot, and it's a lot of fun up there in Alaska. If you get a chance to go up there, she's one of a kind. That's for sure. They made the redheaded Anji. They made the redheaded barbershop hairdresser mold, and then they broke it, and then they made Anji, and then. I enjoyed y'all. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Roxanne. If you want to do a brag on the fam, or you want to email me something you want to say on the air, or have us shout out anything, Roxanne, feel free to do that. Laugh at Marty Simpson. If you liked the did the fourth quarter thing go up there with the thing? Put the fourth quarter thing back up there, Hardy. It'll count 2 minutes. Or there's an OT. There's not an OT clock. There's an OT clock though. Put the OT clock up there just in case, because the clock really helps me because I have linger disorder. There we go. 6 minutes left in OT. That's pretty good. So, Mike, this is the first show where we've had structure of the 4 quarters. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed it. I like seeing the clock. I knew where we were.
Yeah, well, that's the first time I spent literally like 40 hours on these GIF files in this interface to get these animated GIFs that go. And Robbie Hardy, bring yourself in, Hardy. Bring yourself in.
Yeah, your producer's on it. Like that's the game changer. Like,
there's Hardy, man. Now I feel like y'all have met. You met Mike Goodwin. He did comedy at River Hills or something, Riverland Hills or something.
Lake Murray Baptist.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because he was texting me earlier today, like, what you're not going to do, Mike Goodwin. Like, he was quoting you before he came in. So, Hardy was my assistant at Ben Lipton when we were beating up John Day and Rip Blackstone at Heathwood, and back in the day. So, Hardy was my first assistant coach. Went all the way back to high school and middle school with Robbie Hardy. So, yeah. So he's a. So, what'd you think, Hardy? You did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
All right, so now I gotta mute you when you go in. No, you're not muted when you go in, but I hear Hardy in my screen share and I hear him in this. So it's like when I went off the air, that was money because Hardy was like, "Yeah, Simp, I think you're out. I don't think."
Yeah, he jumped in there too. I mean, like I was like, maybe this is part of the game. I don't know.
Like this is a segment. Marty like stuck me with this segment. This is
like this is something Marty would do. Like, how is your guest gonna respond to me just not being on the show? Like, this is very Marty-esque.
Oh, I would never.
Here we go, people.
That's a new segment though, coined by Mike Goodwin. Let me see. I'm going to click these comments too, just to move the screen here. I don't like looking at the comments though. It's a wrap. So it's a lot of Chris. It's a lot of Chris Rossetti saying a lot of stuff. So Chris Rossetti has a brag on the fam. Was going to call in. We had technical difficulties. So Chris, you're still on the docket. Friday is our next show. Angie has agreed to do 2 a week, Monday and Friday. I think I'm going to do a Wednesday alone and just talk to the audience and get some ideas on what's going on. But feel free. This is what I told Johnny W. and Joey Ilo and Sean Reynolds. When I'm broadcasting live, I'm going to start texting you, Mike, and I message you like if a funny story that makes the cookies and cream story relevant or makes something you and I have experienced together relevant. Like Johnny W. just came on the show and was this box on his phone, like walking through Walmart the other day or whatever. Like, so it's just kind of a cool technology that is part of it, which makes the live show cool. So, but anyway, I think it's a wrap. Hardy, you think it's a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Yeah. So you vetoed I like the guest privileges though. I think that the white flag guest privileges. I'm going to tell the guests now to have a red flag and a white flag that they can like
I couldn't do 2 rap concerts.
Well, I'm going to send you the link to her rap with Andrew Stanley. And you got to put it in perspective, though. Andrew Stanley is a white accountant from Atlanta, like The Office, awkward feel. So I think she was, and we didn't do music for her last time, too. So it was actually
a cappella. She went.
Like the charming part of how bad it was last time was funnier because of how bad it was. This time with the music, she was almost on, she was like a C-, where it was like that just was like a C-. But last time it was such an F- that was like transcendently funny, and she can make anything funny right out of the bat. So that's but this is Marty's hang time. Give a warm Marty's hang time of arrivederci to Mike Goodwin there. That's our thing. So Mike, you'll be back on the show, friend of the show, my mentor and one of my favorites ever, comedian Mike Goodwin. Everybody.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
So that's it, guys. That's our 6th episode of Marty's Hangout. And we actually got rolling pretty good on that one. And the structure of the 4 quarters kept us on time. Angie's rap was impeccably amazing, perfect. Coach Hardy coming in on the sound effects was fantastic. Comedian Mike Goodwin jumping in out of the gate in the 2nd quarter, blasting through, scoring touchdowns left and right with his heckling of the show. It was fantastic. The halftime show provided by Anji Stubbs in Alaska with the makeup of her family. Past my prime, Mike Goodwin talked about just sleeping at night, waking up with a crick in his neck, not doing anything like that, and bragging on the fam about his daughter's Gabby bows. If your daughter needs a special snap for her braids, that if they come out, she invented this thing. She's a 10-year-old, 12-year-old entrepreneur, and she's amazing. So check out comedianmikegoodwin.com, and then put the 4th quarter overlay up there just to get the Venmo on the screen, Hardy. And it'll just be the 4th quarter overlay. So that 4th quarter time is not right, but you can go to Venmo at Marty Simpson. You can just send a tip to the to the show. If you want to tip the comedians, we'll share it with our guests and with Angie and with Hardy, and we'll just keep us alive and whatnot. But we'll be back on definitely going to be back on Friday. So follow Marty Simpson, comedian Marty Simpson on Facebook, or Marty Simpson on Twitter, or Marty Simpson 19 on Instagram, because I don't believe that unifying your social media is the thing that should happen. So I like to keep you guessing. But this has been episode 6 of Marty's Hangout, and I'll be back with you. And the monkey cam is there with a little hidden Yoda to end us on. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back on Friday of this week and possibly Wednesday. Follow me on Facebook. Take care, everybody.
In broadcast?
Yep, in broadcast.